Hi everyone, welcome to CitizenScience.Asia Meets, Alexey Reshchikov. So it's a funny story. So we just ran the Asian Asia Challenge last week. Alexey happened to be on Facebook helping us promote it unprompted. I came across his Facebook post, so I was really happy to see him voluntarily trying to get people engaged in this project that we're running. So I was really happy to see that, so I reached out and found out he's an avid citizen scientist, so I thought we should do this interview and have a chat with him. So here we are. Welcome, Alexey.
Hello.
So I'm going to be asking him a few questions just to get a sense who he is, why he's involved, and hopefully that inspires all of you to get involved in citizen science as well. So Alexey, so I guess first off, just wanted to say maybe if you can give us a background of who you are, where you're from, and give us a sense what's your definition of what citizen science is about.
All right. My name is Alexey Reshchikov. I'm a naturalist.
Okay.
That's definition of myself. I sounded at the last my job interview. Actually, I do research in biology, and I'm a taxonomist working on wasp taxonomy.
That's amazing. Okay.
And yeah, but I have very deep passion for observing nature, just its aesthetics and its details, and I really like to stay at it.
Okay. And I guess what does citizen science mean to you? Obviously, I think it's a term that not a lot of people in Asia especially know about. So what's your personal take on what does it mean? What is it for you?
I think the firstly key word would be here communication. And
Right.
it's not just when the public or the person in their spare time go in nature and do observation, but do it with his or her passion, but also communicating with
course.
other naturalists
Yes.
and researchers, providing the data for everyone.
Right. Makes sense, especially with your day job as a researcher. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense in terms of how you think about it. So maybe we'll come back a little bit into that in a sec. So maybe on Asian Nature Challenge itself. So how did you come across it and why did you decide to join this project?
All right, I just finished another BioBlitz just a week before
Right.
the Asian Nature Challenge started. That was World Wasp Week.
Right. Okay.
That was quite amazing results that we got, and suddenly I just saw the advertisement in Facebook,
Yeah.
and yeah, I did a post, I reposted in Facebook and Instagram, and many people of naturalists in my cycle in Asia or out of Asia, they participate.
Right. No, that's amazing. So yeah, I guess it was sort of almost a very regular thing for you anyway. So there's a good opportunity to just get involved a little bit more and get other people to contribute as well, right? Okay. And so I guess with the Asian Nature Challenge, what were some of the interesting observations in particular? Obviously, you do this regularly. So was there anything that stands out with the Asian Nature Challenge versus some of the other, like just even the week before when you did your other Bowblitz?
Yeah, both BioBlitz brought amazing results, and the Asian Nature Challenge, that was personally for myself was very pleasant discovery when citizen scientists observed the species of wasp I described several years ago, and that was known only from the type specimen. So then this is first encountering of after the description.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I saw the photo, absolutely beautiful photo, and that's really good. So my understanding is that it's the first and only observation of that species
Right.
that you identified on iNaturalist at the moment, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll see if we get more of that. Yeah. But yeah, that's amazing discovery though. So obviously, it's nothing specific to Asian Nature Challenge, but it's just sort of a good timing. If it wasn't because of all these people getting out there and doing this, I don't think we would have came across that opportunity, right? So you never know.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And I guess in this method, obviously you do it as a regular thing anyways. Was it something that you found really enjoyable, especially with the discovery? Is it something you'll do again? Do you do regularly?
For me, that's just a normal day.
Yes.
I do observations myself. Now I know iNaturalist is a platform quite while, but I start to use it proactively and start to make a project there and harvesting data since I think pandemic time.
Yeah.
But for my normal life, this is a normal day. I'm going, if I have time, I'm going with the camera,
Yeah.
shooting different stuff, not only wasps,
Yeah.
publish it.
That's amazing. And I guess, is this something that you would recommend your friends and family? It's something relatively easy to do. They can do whenever they're out and about, right?
Yeah, of course. If someone interested in nature and want to play with the app, that's very welcoming.
Yeah, no, I was telling a friend the other night, she didn't know about iNaturalist, but she liked going on hikes. And I was just talking to them about Asian Nature Talent, obviously. And I was just showing them in the app, obviously, if you're not a biologist, you're not a naturalist already, you might be curious about all the different species out there. So it's really good just to tell you what they are when you see something, right?
Right, that for learning and just recording as a diary, of your own diary, this is amazing tool and
Yes.
quite beneficial for everyone, not only for scientists.
Yes, no, I agree, that's right, exactly. So yeah, as you said, obviously you do other bio blitzes, you do it for your day job in terms of research. So do you want to talk a little bit more in terms about other projects that you actually incorporate citizen science already? Are there other ones that you're doing at the moment?
Yeah, I started with the iNaturalist as a tool for my research during pandemic when our move was limited and going in the field and collecting data was not possible.
Right.
But then I decided why not to start doing actual things on iNaturalist.
Okay.
I have a side project which dedicated for biodiversity around tea plants.
Yeah.
And then, but it's not only tea plantations, it's tea gardens, organic gardens, or
Okay.
wild habitat of camellia species.
Right, okay.
Different tea species. It's, originated from Asia. So, the core of my research is in Asia, and
Right.
all of my scientific projects are based here in Asia.
Okay, that's fantastic. And obviously, when these projects are live, you're obviously always looking for volunteers, people to sort of collect this information from different places where you don't even necessarily expect, right?
Yeah, that I started as the source of data, collaborating with tea farmers and tea businesses,
Right.
and that was quite smoothly going. So yeah, with beneficial for everyone. And
Right.
During pandemic, I started iNaturalist project for tea fauna.
Yeah.
And then we start to harvest data globally.
That's
With
amazing.
any place where tea was cultivated or cultivating.
And was that something you expected in terms of the scope of places that was going to be included? Or did you have any expectation of like where you might get observations from?
I'm targeting it. So then,
Okay.
I mapping the tea of the world, and then the rest of the places globally would be exotic and basic species
Right.
and artificial human created habitat.
Yes.
But in Asia, of course, it's in many places natural.
Natural origination,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
And then anyway, it's very interesting to compare patterns in this in agricultural land and abundant agricultural land.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll include the link to the project, obviously, so other people can sort of look at it in more detail as well. So I guess one thing, especially as a researcher, participating in CitizenScience, obviously is your personal passion, but on the flip side of it, how well does it sort of incorporate itself into like actual scientific papers? Like, obviously, one of the arguments, as you probably know, is that, well, citizen science collecting observations, how is that scientific enough or technical enough to be used as proper data points? So what's your argument for how does citizen science data work in terms of its accuracy or its precision?
That in particular cases can be quite accurate with detailed photo, and if wildlife photography is quite good,
Yes.
then we can see a lot of details.
Mm.
And there are some cases already published, and description of new species or rediscoveries of lost species.
Right.
And myself, as I mentioned, this in Hong Kong that we discovered second time, the
Yes.
species, which is very rare. Things like this, and a lot of new records coming
Right.
from iNaturalist and other platforms. And also can be done some wider scope research.
Yeah.
If we just apply filtering and taking into account this probable mistakes and
Right.
filtering it. So
Right.
there is statistically we can analyze this data anyway.
Yeah.
And for the higher groups, many organisms can be identified quite well.
Yes.
So that we can use it
Right, right. For
as
the
a
natural.
surrogate for the analyzing the fauna and flora around the world.
That's right, makes sense. So I guess it starts with just making sure there's a level of protocol that's easy for people to understand. So you obviously have focus subject of what the observation is, and then at a high level, like you said, a lot of people can help with that already. It just gets to the more technical detail level where you guys get involved.
And also with time, the situation is improving.
Yes.
Because AI is learning, and
Right.
The team of the platforms, particularly iNaturalist, they constantly improving the protocols and the tools.
Yes.
And myself as a naturalist, I think that it's good to create examples. It's good to create content
Yes.
and observations ourselves to be an example.
Right.
And out of the platform, also I popularizing the tool and explaining people of my cycle how to do observations. There's plenty of tutorials nowadays.
Yes.
Everybody can simply understand, and that's actually easy to improve the quality of data doing extra clicks.
Right. No, that's amazing. And I guess one aspect I don't think people are aware of, obviously there's a lot of emphasis like visually, like people doing Instagram and all that these days. But obviously in this particular case, iNaturalist also does the sound as well, right? So acoustics as well. And it's something I know you're a big believer in. So how well does that work, and how well does that help with some of the research aspects when it comes to biodiversity?
Oh, recently it's reached another milestone
Right.
in iNaturalist with sound.
Yeah.
And it's just this new field starting. Like, it's
Yeah.
many things that we can do with sound. Myself, I'm creating a library of wasp sounds.
Okay.
So any species will sound differently with particular frequencies.
Right.
So this is my preliminary observations.
Okay.
So then probably it will be some data.
Okay, that's really interesting. What kind of sound does a wasp make? I always
Are
think
they
of it-
buzzing?
Okay, it is the buzzing part. Okay,
They
yeah, yeah.
buzzing, clicking, whipping.
Okay.
It's actually quite a lot of sounds in there.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I guess people don't necessarily pay attention to that, so it'd be interesting to understand what that is when you have your paper out. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. So we can call you the wasp guy then in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Because, because we've got the
I
wasp
am.
guy, we've got the ant guy in Hong Kong now. So okay, it's a wasp man. Okay, good stuff. Yeah. Any other projects that you're looking at the moment? So you're doing the wasp, obviously, as a research. You're doing this tea related sort of origination sort of thing. Any other citizen science type of interesting work you're doing? Or participating in, really, yeah.
I'm participating in CNC, obviously.
Yeah.
From this year I start to do World Wasp Week.
Okay.
So, and I'm gonna do it annually.
Yeah.
and I create different projects locally for local fauna. So,
Okay.
and with a broader scope for Asia and for like national observations, like wasps of India or
Okay.
parasitic wasp of Cambodia, this stuff. And it's actually helped me a lot with statistics and quickly seeing new observations.
Okay. No,
Because
that's fantastic.
like
Yeah.
with a global big scale project, it's, it's very big flow.
Yeah.
But if I check in regularly my project for local fauna, I can faster discover something new.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I mean, some of these, when it's done on the right platform, can be taken to scale really quickly, especially like you're saying, if the protocol is there, there's no limitation of where you can do it from. So I guess you can get a lot of data points really quickly if they're doing it correctly, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of discoveries.
No, it's good stuff, good stuff. Okay. Well, any closing words for the audience in terms of citizen science, why people should get involved?
That's pleasure, that's cool. That's, if you go into nature and you like to do observation, you like to recognize things in nature, it's worth to publish.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, we'll definitely make sure your project links are in the description so people can follow them as well. But appreciate your time. That was a nice chat. Thank you,
Thank you.
Alexey. Cheers. Take care.